Hi. In life, we move through different stages. And especially if we need coaching, if we need support, if we need mentoring, if we need a support from another person, we either lost our fulfillment, we either feel unfulfilled, which means we have goals, we did set goals, we are moving towards our goals, we are doing whatever is needed for our lives, we're already progressing, and our lives might be even in balance, but we don't feel fulfilled. So in the coaching language, in coaching terms, we used to say in the old days that if somebody doesn't feel fulfilled, they don't live their lives according to their values. And we have been coaching people to live according to their values and to find their values. So we were talking about their values. We were coaching them on their values. We were asking them questions like, how would a fulfilled life look like? And I think that's a big question for each and everyone. If you want to live a fulfilled life, if you want to live an extraordinary life, you have to first start asking the right questions to yourself. So whether you're a coach or not, you have to ask the right questions to yourself. If you want to live a fulfilling life, the question is, how would a fulfilling life look for me? Because we can't describe a fulfilling life. There is no description of a fulfilling life. A fulfilling life for me is something very different than a fulfilling life for another person. So how would an extraordinary life look like? So start thinking about that today, because that's the first step to live a fulfilled life. If you are a person who thinks he or she lacks fulfillment, if you think you are not fulfilled, satisfied enough about your life, about how your life progresses, start asking yourself this question: how would an extraordinary life look? How would a satisfying life be for you? So start asking this question. Physically, what needs to happen physically for you to feel fulfilled? What needs to happen emotionally for you to feel fulfilled? What needs to happen mentally? Health-wise, wealth-wise, your social life. Think about all areas of life. In coaching, we have a certain process. Maybe you worked with that process. That's called the life wheel. So if you already know about the life wheel, if you already know the 9 areas of life, you can work around those areas. Think about all areas of your life. Health, wealth, fitness, business, social, your relationships, your relationship with your partner, with your family, with your friends. Think about all areas and get as specific as you can. The more specific, the more it will work, the more the system works. So sit down and take time and really think about it. How would a fulfilled life look like? So a person who doesn't feel fulfilled, satisfied, first of all, didn't take the time to think about how would a fulfilled life look like. So as coaches, we lead them into that process. And like I said, in the old days, we were thinking people who doesn't live their lives according to their values are unfulfilled, feel unfulfilled. Now, the literature has changed, the language has changed, because nowadays, for the past 3 or 4 years, and I've been teaching this for the past few years, I have come up to realize that each and everybody is actually living according to their values. There is no one in this planet, on this planet, who is not living according to their values. So each and everybody is living according to their values, but they don't know about it, and that's the reason you feel unfulfilled. So you already are living your life according to your values, but because you didn't think about what your values were, because you didn't spend time working on your values, because you didn't ask the right questions to yourself, you think you are living your life according to their values. But when you look at your life, when you look at an individual's life, when you look at what they spend their time on, what they spend their money on, how they spend their days, what do they talk about the most, what do they think about the most, what do they do the most, then you realize that they're doing what they value, they're talking about what they value, they're thinking what they value, they're spending time on what they value, they're spending money on what they value, they're spending energy on what they value. They feel inspired on when they start working on what they value. So we all are clearly inspired on doing only what we value. Every human being is free, and even if you think you're not free, you're still free. Nobody can force you to do anything. And usually people come up to me saying, I had to do this, I had to do that. There is no I had to. Nobody is putting a gun on your head. You don't have to do anything. You're just doing it because that's a value, or there is a hidden value at the back of it. For example, I hear that especially in Istanbul a lot, and in cities like Istanbul, London, New York a lot, people tell to themselves, and they tell me when they come to my courses and also coaching or trainings, they tell me, I'm doing this as a job, I have this job, I spend most of my time, in the office doing this business, but this business is not my value. And I tell them, there is a hidden value there, and you have to find that, because if you're spending most of your time at an office, at your business, if you're spending most of your time, most of your energy at a certain place doing a certain thing, it must be a value for me. If it wasn't a value for you, you wouldn't go there. You would wake up in the morning and you wouldn't just step into that office ever again. And I've had relationships where they lost the value for me, and you probably all had relationships where you felt like, this is not a value for me, and you were like, done. You don't want to ever see that person again, you don't want to ever talk to that person again, or, for example, a habit you have, a behavioral habit you have, or something you do in your life, when it is not a value for you, you just stop. You don't go. So imagine a place you visit every day. It can be a sports place, it can be a meeting area, some place, and then the moment it loses its value, you don't ever go back there again. You don't ever see those people again. So if a person is waking up in the morning, going to that office, meeting all those people and doing what they're doing the whole day, there must be a value, because if there is no value, there is no energy, there is no inspiration, there is no way you could do that. So they think, their value is doing. I have some people, who likes my trainings and whatever I teach, and they have all these fantasies about who they should be, and they think they would be a wellness coach and they would be in a well-being studio and open up a well-being studio, but it's not happening in their lives. So that's like something to remember. If something is not happening in your life, that's not a value. Because what we value, we create. We create what we value. We create what we think about. So if you value something and you think about it the whole day. So for example, about this person, if about this example, if he or she valued wellness, well-being, teaching, she would have a wellness studio, or she would be a teacher, or he would be a teacher. Why? Because he would be thinking about wellness the whole day. He would be talking about wellness the whole day. He would be spending all his time on creating ideas on wellness the whole day, which is going to lead into a creation. We spend time, we spend energy, we spend money, we spend, our awareness goes there. We spend ourselves, our time, our energy in what we value. So I ask those people, how is your work serving you? What's the value there? And most of the time, the money, wealth, for most of the time I see that wealth is one of their biggest values, and that business serves earning, the money they want to earn. Wellness is not their first value. That's why they're in this business. Instead of earning less, they prefer earning more and staying in this business. So for coaches, for me, it's always important to support people into understanding their values first of all, and reminding that, this is a new literature in coaching, reminding that they always live according to their values. There's nobody living a life disaligned with their values. We are all aligned with our values. The moment we start seeing our values, and the moment we ask the right questions to ourselves, and if you can't do that, if you don't have the capability to ask the right questions, it's always have a support, it's always good to have coaching sessions. It's good to have mentoring sessions, to have that support and learn about the right questions, because even 1 or 2 coaching sessions, if you're working with a good professional coach, transforms your life in a huge way. So this is one of the phases people usually are, feeling unsatisfied and feeling unfulfilled. I'm going to be talking about the next phase we face in our humanhood and also in our lives in my next video.